Sumit, I think you had a point, and I want to also add to what he's saying in terms of, do you see this as becoming a recognized currency going forward?
I see this as more of a new asset class, emerging asset class. Like investing in stocks used to be very risky 20 years back. Gold was once upon a time, it was illegal to buy gold or import gold. Now look where we are today, right? And if you look at crypto, right, I think one analogy you can see is with the advent of internet, it is now possible to transfer information from one point, any place in the world to any other country. It's just seamless. Within a matter of seconds, you can access any website, any tool, right? Information is freely available across the world. That has changed our life so much that we're using apps, we're using credit cards. It has made our life way more efficient. Now imagine when it comes to value, we are still not able to transfer value across the globe very easily. There are a lot of restrictions in place that is making our traditional finance, which is the bank legacy systems, very inefficient. Now with this blockchain technology, also called as distributed ledger technology, it is making the world more decentralized. That means now you can freely transfer value from any point, any place in the world to any other place freely. Just imagine the impact it will make if you are able to transfer value. Right? It has impact on financial system, it has impact on data security, it has impact on whatever you do on the internet. All your data will be protected. That is what value that the blockchain provides you. Now in terms of regulation, if you use blockchain properly, right, all our existing financial systems can be made much more efficient because they are not at a single point of failure is not there. It is not distributed. Risk is not concentrated on one place. Less corruption, higher transparency, better financial systems, more efficient way to transfer value within multiple advantages. I am very, very certain that in India, it is going to get regulated and we'll see that in the times to come. It's just a matter of how to regulate it. And that is where education is important. Industry players and regulators needs to come together, have that open dialogue just like we are having today. And whatever apprehensions are there needs to be discussed and sorted out. Blocking that is actually going to do more harm, right? So regulation will happen, and I think that is the right way forward.
And in fact, it was really interesting because just earlier I was speaking to the panelists and they were kind of describing to me the wave of adoption that we're seeing here in India and how it's something that is only going to grow from here on. Kunal, tell us about that, the kind of pace at which we're seeing growth. You spoke about the increase in value over the years, but now the interest that's coming in from millennials all over the country.
So I think, especially in the last 1 year, markets have grown very well across asset classes. You look at equities, you look at real estate, you look at so many other asset classes. They've all grown actually, and cryptos are no different. Primarily also the core factor besides the digital adoption and COVID and other factors is that US has printed close to $10 trillion. So that money has come into the markets and that has to go somewhere. So the asset prices have gone up. That has helped in the adoption, early adoption of millennials, the early adopters of cryptos and many other asset classes, and that's good for the whole world. And with these companies getting so much funding to be able to build a marketplace, to educate the market, work with the regulators, make an impact, that's great. I just want to come back on one point that let me still explain the use case of Bitcoin. It's probably not necessarily any of us in the room. It's probably an illegal immigrant from Punjab running a taxi in New York, saving $100 a week. Today, if he wants to send $100 back to his village, hometown in Punjab, it cost him $30 from Western Union money transfer, takes 3 days. If Bitcoin were allowed, New York they're allowed, Punjab, arguably, eventually with regulation, it might be. If Bitcoin is allowed for that person to send $100 back on a weekly basis to his family hometown, who is unbanked, who's a part of the 4 billion people on the planet who are not well banked, who don't have UPI, who don't have Paytm, who don't have a credit card. Bitcoin is the romantic, utopian use case for those people, which unfortunately is not coming together in the short term of regulatory and the challenges we are facing. And there are reasons for it. Governments are not comfortable allowing another currency which they don't control, they don't tax, they don't track as yet. But Bitcoin, like everyone is saying, it's become one of those more you bury it, it's more like a seed, more it grows. China banning has changed nothing. Its adoption is still up, price is still up. So it's one of those things you need to learn to live with, and in time it will find its own place among the fiat currencies. Bitcoin will have its play, and adoption is not a bad play for Indian government as well to consider adopting it, to consider regulating it, making it more accessible to people, and if it's right, it works. If it's not, right?